is for the level 4 second semester. Prerequisites, NCM 1941. What is 1941? Ano yun? Anong subject yan? 1941. Pasado ba kayo dyan? Check mo nga. 941. Walang copy na ko yata ang aking CMO. Baka hindi kayo pumasa dyan, ha? So, you cannot proceed with disaster nursing. So, this is 54 hours, contact hours natin, RLE. And this will be inside the skills laboratory, pwede siya gawin, or outside the skills laboratory, pwede siya sa field, na kung RLE, pwede siya sa field. So, kasi ang focus nito, you're going to learn, no, to manage disasters or any emergency events, no, that you are going to provide an immediate care, for example, no. So, pwede siya sa field. Let's say, for example, sa school, no, kung may earthquake or kung kaya merong shingog, no, kung ano ang gagawin ng nursing students. And the placement, the RLE days and time is 3 hours per week. Okay. The focus is, or the terminal objective for this course is intended for nursing student nurses to develop their situational awareness related to disaster and emergency events, to familiarize the predetermined standard operating procedures, and to enhance their leadership skills, critical thinking skills, as decision-making skills by knowing what actions to take and knowing the purposes of each action. So I presume if it is going to be conducted inside the skills laboratory or in the field, pwedeng bigyan kayo ng mga scenario dito, ng mga situations wherein ma-enhance ang inyong analysis, critical thinking, and on what you're going to do with that situation. How are you going to manage that situation, emergency situations? Kung ito ay sa hospital, ito ay sa school, nagkasunog, nagka-earthquake, ano gagawin niyo sa sarili niyo at sa mga pasyente niyo. Okay? For the first week, ang focus, first meeting is orientation to the course and the house rules. So, house rules, of course, this is RLE. Alam niyo na kung ano ang kailangan ninyong i-comply na mga requirements, with regards to your attendance. Of course, you have to have your daily time record once you are going to have your RLE for your disaster nursing. And what about the uniform? Just don't know kung ano i-require sa inyo if you are going to manage emergency situations. Siguro, kung bibigyan kayo ng mga scenario, of course, baka kailangan nyo magsuot dito ng mga jeans ba, o for example, na para makikilos kayo ng maayos. And what we call this, ano pa yung mga house rules? Of course, applicable pa rin yung mga rules natin, like kung absent ka,
Hello?
Hello, Santo Niño.
Eh, hello? Okay lang ba kayo lahat? Kukunin ko na kayo, ha.
Hello? Hello, hello? Hello? Oh, nawala ako. Ano ba yan? So, next time, yung inyong disaster nursing RLE, hindi siya online nga. Hindi siya pwede sa online. So, next meeting nyo dapat face-to-face na 'to, na para hindi tayo ano, di-disconnect. Okay. So, nasaan na ba? Di naman na kailangan i-emphasize yung mga house rules, di ba? 4th year na kayo eh. Ulit-ulit. Sinabi na naman yan sa lahat ng mga RLE ninyo, yung mga house rules na yan. Okay. So, alam niyo na yung grooming, hindi ko lang sure kung ano ipapasuot sa inyo dyan, school uniform, and pwede rin siguro minsan jeans, mga requirements niyo sa uniform. And then, sa second part ng week 1, you're going to talk about the concepts and principles of disaster. So, ang disaster kasi pwede siyang, pwede siyang product ng social interplay between it's between human and physical or social world, no? Pwede kasi siyang natural, pwede siyang man-made, no, na disaster. So dito sa RLE ninyo, you're going to have your mock drill, you're going to have different exercises related to disasters, and also you are going to learn here the different safety protocols that are applicable to the environment, the school environment. What are the disaster preparedness plan of the school, yung mga safety drills, tsaka what will be the role of the nurses during the disaster sa school. And then you have also the school drills related to fire, the race and the pass protocol. Are you familiar with the race and pass protocol? 40th. Race and pass protocol. Itong pass, this is related to yung the use of fire extinguisher na, di ba nakikita yun ang mga dyan, mga naka-built-in na fire extinguisher dito sa school. Meron dyan, how to use fire extinguisher. Nandyan yung mnemonic na pass. What is P? What is P?
Pool po.
Pool. Tapos, A is
Aim.
aim yan. So, kung paano gamitin yan. Tapos, yung S is squeeze. And another S is to sweep. Sweep na yung laman ng fire extinguisher. Yung raise, what is raise? R stands for?
Remove po.
Remove or rescue. A is activate. Tama? C, ang C. C. And then the E is evacuate. Anong C? That is C. Sige. So, sa school drills yan. And meron din mga requirement, no? Sa mga related sa disaster preparedness, dapat meron silang mga evacuation plan, yung evacuation map, saan dadaan, so in case na merong sunog, merong earthquake, dapat orient sa lahat ng mga personnel and the students sa school, no, kung saan sila dadaan pag nag-evacuate. And also, you have the drill related to earthquake sa school din. And then you have ito din maganda din siya, hospital disaster and emergency situations. Yan, disaster response, triaging, basic principles of triaging, and also you have the different protocols din, yung SALT triage, START, the role of the triage officer, the hazardous triage disasters. So we're going to learn all of this sa RLE ninyo sa disaster nursing. Ganda to, dito talaga sa school yan. And pwede nyo gawin yung mga drills, mga return demonstrations sa field. Okay. Sige, hospital incidents or workplace violence, nandito pala yan. Basic first aid management. Okay. Yun. So, ito yung coverage ninyo ng inyong mga magaganap sa RLE sa inyong disaster nursing. Okay? So, as I have mentioned, so pwedeng mapalitan ang inyong CI. Baka hindi ako ang mag-handle nito. So, pwedeng ipasa ko na siya kay Ma'am Reyes lahat. Or, magkaroon kayo ng isa pang CI sa RLE. Okay lang yun. Kasi we have to prioritize also yung mga catch-up din ng ng second year tsaka yung fourth year na meron pang catch-up sa CHN2. So, bali pa yun, isang buong section pa yun. Isang grupo sa 4, 2, tsaka tatlong grupo sa 4-3. Magka-catch up pa sa CHN2. So, priority din kasi lang yung graduate din. Ay, sandali lang. Sa'yo po mo. Ay, akin na ka. Amat ma. Nandiyan nga raw po yung check-in ng GNF. Pero, Friday pa raw po makapagawa. Pero, pwede daw po itanong sa cashier kung okay na po rin. Okay, kunin. Palitan sa Friday. Hindi, sige lang na siya. Good news din. Good news yan para kasi may duty na sa sir doon. Pwede hindi lang nagapos na siya. Sino nagsabi? Si Ma'am Hayran. Nag-update ko siya. Kasi na-promise yun. Okay. So anyway, kahit sino man yung magiging CA nyo, at least we will start the first meeting. Dapat second meeting na nga ito, di ba? Kasi unstable pa tayo last week. So siguro ngayon, okay na. Meron lang mga magsasubsub, okay na yun. So I have already assigned topics for the group A to be discussed today, and same with the group B kung ano yung i-discuss nila related to the clinical focus for disaster nursing. So can you please prepare your presentation, group A, and then we will listen to your group presentation. Sige. Group A. Sino in charge sa group A? Group A. Hindi ko kasi yung makita dito. Kayo lang yung nakakaalam ng group yun. Yung
Wait
wala
lang po,
akong
ma'am.
update. Sino-sino ang group A? Enumerate mo nga.
Arabaca po,
Arabaca, sino pa?
Arguson,
Oo.
Manday, Kabatingan,
Limban,
opo, Kabatingan, Cayobit, Cardenas, Cruz, Del Mundo, Malimban, Tandog, Villanueva po.
may Del Mundo tayo.
Meron po.
Del Mundo. Sige. Okay. Sino ang leader ng group A? Ikaw ba, Miss Banday? O si Arabaca?
Po namin alam.
Di ba fourth year na kayo? Dapat kayo nag-i-initiate kayo kasi ang yun sa group. Kailangan pa ba yun i-assign? Anong ginawa nyo? How did you prepare your presentation? Paano nyo ginawa ito? Is Arabaca?
Ano po ma'am, based po on mga nag-research po. Based po dun sa topics na inano niyo po, na binigay niyo po sa amin.
So, how did you distribute the tasks or the topics? Sino ang una sa pag-distribute ng task? Paano kayo nag-uusap?
Ito po yung madalas namin ginagawa is yung nilalapag po namin yung mga topics. Tapos ano po, kanya-kanya pong kuha po ng part kung alin po yung gagawa nila ng input. Then, at the same time, yun din po yung part po na i-discuss po nila para po, syempre po, mas gamay po nila yung pag-discuss din sa kanila po ng yung input.
Okay, sige. Nag-research kayo?
Yes po.
So, you're going to mention your references after the last slide. Na?
Ano po?
Okay. References. Where did you get the content of your topic? Na? Saan nyo pinuha yan? Okay. Sige. Ang group B ba ay makikinig? Group B?
Yes po.
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po.
Okay, so, interesting topic din, no? Or topic and topics. Sige, disaster. Okay. Group A. What are your topics?
Okay po. So first po muna, good afternoon po. Good afternoon to all po. We are the group A. Our group consists of, once again, Aravaca, Arguzon, Banday, Cabatingan, Cardenas, Cayobit, Cruz, Del Mundo, Malimban, Tandog, and Villanueva. So for our first is the reasons why Philippines is prone to disaster. So please present it.
So, reasons why Philippines is prone to disaster po, meron po kaming apat, which is yung geographical location, typhoon belt, geological characteristic, and climate change. Next po. For the geographical location po, the Philippines po kasi is matatagpuan sa region na kilala for frequent natural disasters po due to its location po na nasa Pacific Ring of Fire po. Then yung Pacific Ring of Fire po is pumapalibot po sa Pacific Ocean na kung saan po yung several tectonic plates nga po is nagmi-meet and nagkakaroon po ng meron po ditong convergence zone, then yung Earth's crust nga po is highly active and nagle-lead po siya sa increase ng seismic and volcanic activity. And yung Philippines nga po is part nga po siya ng Pacific Ring of Fire na nakaka-experience ng regular earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Next po. For the typhoon belt naman po, and yung Philippines po is located nga po sa Western Pacific wherein target po siya ng mga big storms or yung mga typhoon po. Then, yun nga po, nasa path po siya na Pacific Typhoon Belt na nasa area, yun nga po, ano tawag dito? Ng Western Pacific na kung saan nga po nabubuo yung mga typhoons and yung mga warm water po dito sa region na ito is tumutulong po para po mas lumakas yung typhoon po. And every year po yung Philippines ay tinatamaan po ng mga maraming typhoons and they bring heavy rain, strong winds, and waves po na nagkakos nga po ng floods and landslides sa Philippines po. And that's why po yung bansa po natin is needs a good plan to handle ng mga malalakas na typhoon nga po na magpa-protect po sa lugar and sa mga tao po na nandito. Next po.
So for the climate change, the impacts of climate changes is due to the reason of rising of sea levels and shifting of weather patterns, especially prone sa Philippines since nandun nga tayo sa may farming, tapos the specific Pacific Ocean contribution for intense frequent typhoons. Um, Climate changes are due to man-made materials such as extensive use of fossil fuels, yung coals, coals, oils, cooking oils or gas. Yung paggamit natin ito for extensive long time is nagkakos ito ng tinatawag natin greenhouse gases. Yung nagka-trap yung carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, tapos yung fluorinated gases, nag-heat up siya at nag-build up dun sa atmosphere natin. Due to that, yung heat is hindi siya na spread out sa space, like hindi nag-circulate, kaya nagkakos ng global warming, like yung sa ice is mabibilis na nag-melt. For example, nakikita natin dito yung tag-tuyo or yung drought, water scarcity, um, wildfires or yung severe fires, sea levels, yung nga, common siya sa Philippines, baha or floods, tapos intense storms. Like for example, sa Leyte, we experience the super typhoon Yolanda, and also the tropical storm Telma, yung year 1991. So, next slide po. So the locations and areas for prone to disaster are Eastern Seaboard, Bicol Region, Mindanao, Cagayan Valley, Panay Island. So next slide po. Here we have the Eastern Seaboard. The Philippines Eastern Seaboard, which faces the Pacific Ocean, is particularly vulnerable to typhoons and storm surge. Yung coastal communities in this region are particularly vulnerable due to the direct impact of typhoons making it landfalls. Yung provincial areas natin dito commonly is Biliran, Eastern, Northern Samar, Leyte, and Samar. Yun nga, Southern, Nor- Southern, Northern Samar, Leyte, Southern Leyte, tapos yung Tacloban. Yung Tacloban naman is, for a fact, is na-experience na dito yung tinatawag natin, I don't know if naaalala nyo pa yung Typhoon Haiyan. Internationally known siya as Haiyan, Typhoon Haiyan. Pero sa Philippines, ito yung tinatawag natin Typhoon Yolanda, which causes many deaths at internationally known as the Category 5 storm. So next slide po.
The Bicol region, known for its proximity to the Pacific Ocean and active volcanoes, is threatened by both typhoons and volcanic eruptions. The Mayon volcano, located in Bicol, is one of the most active volcanoes globally, adding another layer of complexity to the disaster risk profile of the region. So kung matatandaan po natin yung mga typhoons like Milenio tsaka po yung Reming nung 2006 ay yung which were recorded to be some of the most devastating typhoons po. Next slide po. Southern Mindanao is prone to earthquakes and landslide. Mindanao is prone to earthquake activity since it is located on the Philippine Fault System. Furthermore, the steep terrain increases the likelihood of landslide, especially during heavy rains. So makikita po natin na yung mga sa Southern Mindanao po is prone rin po siya sa lindol at pagguho ng lupa. Yung mga matatarik na lupain po ay nagdaragdag din po ng mga posibilidad ng pagguho ng lupa, lalo na po yun sa mga panahon ng malakas na pag-ulan. Next slide po.
Next naman po is yung Cagayan Valley, wherein located siya sa Northern Luzon, prone siya sa mga typhoons, floods, and landslides kasi napapaligiran siya ng malalaking bundok gaya ng Cordillera sa west, Caraballo sa south, and Sierra Madre sa east na maaaring maging dahilan ng pagkakaroon ng landslides lalo na kung malakas yung ulan. Nandito rin yung Cagayan River, which is yung longest and largest river sa Philippines that flows through the valley. So kapag may bagyo or malakas na ulan, nag-overflow yung river kaya nagkakaroon ng malawakang pagbaha at pagkasira ng mga ari-arian nila. Next slide po. Last naman po is yung Panay Island wherein located naman siya sa Visayas. Prone rin siya sa typhoons, floods, and landslide dahil napapaligiran ito ng iba't ibang anyo ng lupa gaya ng mga burol, talampas at ibang bahagi ng kapatagan. Yung mga lugar na may malalaking burol at talampas ay maaaring magdulot ng landslides lalo na po kung malakas yung ulan or may bagyo. Saka dahil nga sa location ng Philippines sa Pacific, ang Panay Island ay maaaring madaanan ng mga bagyo na papasok sa bansa lalo na sa panahon ng tag-ulan. Kaya madalas silang nakakaranas ng bagyo, malalakas na hangin, na nagdudulot ng pagkasira ng mga ari-arian nila, pagbaha, at iba pa na mga storm-related disasters such as po yung earthquakes. Next.
So proceed naman po tayo sa definition of disaster risk and disaster risk. First po is yung disaster. So disaster are defined as any devastating event, whether caused by nature, such as earthquake, hurricane, and floods or other natural hazards, or by humans, human activities like accidents, war, or terrorism, that results in a significant loss of life or destruction of public infrastructure, private property, or the natural environment. So disaster are significant disturbances to a community's operations that are beyond its ability to manage using its own resources. So this means that the impact of the disaster is so severe that it overwhelms the community's ability to respond and recover without external assistance. So natural, man-made, and technical risks, as well as other variables that affect a community's susceptibility and exposure, can all result in disasters. Next po. So risk refers to the possibility of experiencing harm, loss, or injury due to a particular situation, event, or activity. So it is a combination of the likelihood or probability of an undesirable event happening and its subsequent magnitude or impact. So risk can be positive, negative, or neutral depending on the context in which it occurs and the perception of those involved. So within the context of the disaster response, risk is understood as a possibility of damage or loss resulting from natural disasters, accidents, and other hazards. Risk is not inherently bad or negative, but rather depends on the circumstances and how it is perceived by those affected. Next po.
So, pag sinabi naman po natin disaster risk, ito, may possibility that suffering may happen. Kasi may destruction or loss of lives, yung ari-arian, nagkakaroon din minsan ng casualties, and also yung mga business o yung livelihood because of a disaster. Also, kapag po may balik po. Also po, kapag may disaster na nangyayari, nakaakibat na dyan yung salitang risk. Like who and what are at risk when this event happen. It is said din po dito na possible losses is hard to measure, but the risk can be evaluated. For example po, yung sa natural disaster natin, nangyari noong 2013 sa Tacloban City, yung Yolanda. So it was expected na malakas talaga yung bagyo. So according to Pag-asa, it was signal number 4. And the people there was informed to evacuate immediately because nga sila yung at risk. Pero ang problema is most people does not want to do that because may iwan yung ari-arian nila. Which is also at risk din naman talaga. Pero syempre, yung buhay is yung priority dito. I think yung Yolanda, it resulted to like 6,000 plus casualties. Next slide. Next po.
Next po is elements of disaster risk. So, meron po tayong capacity, risk, hazard, vulnerability, and exposure. Next po. So, first is the capacity po. Whenever po we are pertaining to capacity, ito po ay pumapantukol po sa kakayahan po ng isang bagay. As for the disasters po, it is all about po sa kakayahan ng mga organisasyon at mga taong involved na to ensure the safety of the people at para na rin po mabawasan ang effects po ng disaster. And more specifically po, it is consist po of sa kakayahan po ng mga certain government body na mag-spread po ng awareness through education. And dahil dito po, mas magiging aware at ready ang mga tao whenever na dumating po ang isang sakuna. And bukod po dito, kasama na rin po kung paano po nakikipag-deal ang mga institution sa isang sakuna before, during, at after a disaster. And overall po nito ay isang pinaka-importanting elements po ng disaster risk dahil if hindi po maganda ang management at hindi po enough ang capacities ng isang lugar, mahirapan po ang mga tao na makipagsapalaran po kapag dumating na po mismo ang sakuna. So, next slide po.
So next, we have risk. Risk pertains to the probability of adverse outcomes or losses that arise from the interplay of hazards, vulnerabilities, exposures, and the ability to adapt. Typically, it is articulated as the likelihood of a certain event transpiring as well as the magnitude of its effect. So, kapag po kasi sinabi nating risk, ito po yung chance na pwedeng may mangyaring hindi maganda sa isa or iilang lugar dahil nga po sa mga unexpected events. And these unexpected events can be natural or man-made disasters, kagaya na lamang po nung bagyo, baha, lindol, sunog, and gera na pwede nga pong mag-cause sa atin ng harm. So dito din po papasok yung kung gaano po kataas yung risk na ma-harm tayo at kung paano naman po yung magiging action natin kapag napunta po tayo sa ganitong sitwasyon. And kagaya nga po nung sinabi kanina ni Ms. Villanueva, who and what are risks when disaster happens? So dito po kasi kapag sinabi nating disaster, di ba, hindi lang po tayo mismo yung maapektuhan. Naka-include po dito yung damage in terms economically, yung damage niya in terms sa mga infrastructures natin, pati na din po sa environment natin. And sa risk po kasi, hindi po tayo dapat mapanatag na dahil ayos nga ngayon is sa mga sumusunod po na taon ayos pa din siya. So halimbawa na lamang po, kung dati-dati sa lugar nyo, bumagyo man ng malakas, never kayong mapinsala, ganon. Tapos after ilang years, kung dati-dati walang pinsala na nagaganap, bigla naman kayong nasalanta after how many years po, ganon. Next po.
Next naman po we have is the hazard. So, as we all know, so hazard is known as a potential destructive event that may occur na kung saan this scenario is naglilid siya into a tragedy that also disturbs the, let's say, the normal flow or the balance na meron po sa isang community or situation. So, this kind of it can be a process, a phenomenon, or a human activity. Yun nga po yung nasabi. Disasters can either be natural or man-made na naglilid nga po leading to cause of loss of life, injury, and also other health health impacts po. So, examples po ng hazard, based nga rin po sa ating let's say the geographical of the Philippines, yung mga landslide po, mga earthquakes, mga floods. One example po, sabihin na po natin, the physical, yung bahay po mismo ng or isang family or yung isang community po is malapit po sila sa bangin. So, makikita na po agad natin based pa lang po sa kanilang location na not only they are at risk po, but they are meron na po agad presence of hazards or hazardous possible na mangyari po, which is yung sa landslide po natin. So next po. Next naman po na element of disaster we have is the vulnerability, which pertains to the susceptibility of an individual, community, or system to be affected po ng hazardous situations. This vulnerability simply means lang po sino po yung mga vulnerable or sino po yung mga deeply maaapektuhan once na may nangyari po na hazardous situation. This vulnerability din po is madedetermine din po natin, let's say given a situation na prone po yung isang community. So, makikita po agad natin if that community consists of, syempre po, mga older age, mga very young or children po, then as well as yung pregnant and the persons with disabilities, mako-consider din po natin siya as priority or the most vulnerable po na mako-consider po natin, especially when we plan po ng mga let's say nagpaplano po tayo ng, let's say, mga escape or parang rescue missions po sa pagkakataon po na meron pong disaster. So next slide po.
So here po, meron tayong types ng vulnerability. So first is the physical vulnerability. So here, the factors that may affect the physical vulnerability of a community are population density, the site, design, and materials used in making their homes, making them vulnerable to not only one but also multiple types of hazards. So here, dun sa mismong building or dun sa mismong bahay po nila is naging vulnerable sila sa mga accidents because hindi maayos yung pagkakagawa ng bahay nila and merong mga parts and mga part ng bahay nila na na ginagawang vulnerable sila into accidents. So next slide. Next slide. So for the social vulnerability, so dito naman po, this describes the possible harm na that external strains on human health could do to communities. So dito papasok yung mga events natin na epidemics, pandemics, may it be natural or man-made. Sa social vulnerability, naging vulnerable tayo kasi hindi natin alam if nasa na ba yung epidemic, yung pandemic. So, hindi natin alam kung sino yung mga affected din. So, social vulnerability, meron na ditong human suffering. Nakalagay dito na both financial loss and human suffering can be decreased by lowering social vulnerability. So, mas less tayo na vulnerable, mas madedecrease yung pagsasuffer and yung loss ng affected community. So next slide.
So next we have naman po is the economic vulnerability. Ito naman po is yung ang sinabi po dito is the financial, let's say financial capability po of a person, na kung saan one of the example is that due to the lack of financial capability, nagli-lead po tayo na kung saan nagtatayo po yung mga tao ng mga bahay kung saan kung saan more prone to disaster, since siyempre po yung mga, sabihin na po natin is yung mga may kaya, ganun po, they have the capability po to build their own homes in a safe and secured subdivisions, na kung saan we can say that they may be less vulnerable, but due to the economic situation of a group or community, they napupush po sila na kung saan not only na hindi po safe yung location po ng kanilang bahay, is yun nga po yung additional, connected din po siya dun sa physical vulnerability, na kung saan they do not have the capability to afford po na mag-build ng physical house nila, na kung saan strong and sturdy, na kahit po may dumaan po na mga hazardous situation is hindi po sila naaapektuhan. So next po. So, next naman po is the environmental vulnerability. This is also connected to the other vulnerability, na kung saan kung hindi nga po kaya ng masustain is that once the hazardous situation happens, hindi po natin maiiwasan na meron po tayong mga natural resources na maapektuhan po. Like for example po sa mga provinces po natin na may mga crops and vegetables po sila na mga tinatanim, once po na maapektuhan po sila ng hazardous situation, syempre po, flash floods and such thing po. So, automatic po yun, meron po talagang possibility of them being vulnerable due to the loss of the natural resources, which is yung mga crops nga po nila, which is source of income din po nila, leading to them being economically vulnerable din po. So, next po.
So next is exposure. So coming from the word exposure, dito meron ng contact sa something hazardous yung people in the community. So nakalagay dito na it is the extent to which a community is exposed to contact with something that may cause them harm. It is an extent where people are exposed to the harmful effects of the hazardous act and how they are being affected. So dito, naapektuhan na nila, for example, meron ng gas leak or chemical exposure sa kanila. So they are being exposed to that chemical and gas, so that could lead to serious injury and harm na nagba-vary based dun sa naging exposure and how they are being affected nga po. So next slide.
That is all po for Group A, and this is our references po. Thank you po.
Okay, thank you, Group A. In summary, again, what are the reasons why Philippines is prone to disaster, to experience natural disasters? John said.
Yes po. Because wait lang po, may echo. Yung ano po ma'am, because of ang Philippines po is inside the Pacific Ring of Fire po, which is frequent masyado po yung movement ng ating tectonic plates, thus resulting to frequent po also, yung frequent earthquakes ma'am, as mentioned
Earthquake.
earlier. Yes po. Tapos yung sa ating yung belt, yung sa storm, kasi po because of yung sa ating, yung sa Pacific rin po yung ating, location po. Kaya mas prone po yung ating, changes sa ating weather po. Yan po, ma'am. And yung
Okay.
sa vulnerabilities po, lahat po ba? Yung risk, we have risk po,
Yung
risk
reasons lang, yung reasons bakit prone tayo sa
yes po.
disaster dito sa Philippines.
Yes po.
So it was also mentioned earlier no that yun nga geographical location, and then meron din tayong areas wherein na-mention din na meron tayong mga active volcanoes no, na pwedeng anytime ay mag-erupt. So what are the volcanoes that you know na very active dito sa Pilipinas na from time to time nababalitaan natin na nag-ano na naman siya, nagkaroon na naman ng notice ang Pag-asa. For Pag-asa ba? Hindi. Ano ba ang ano dito sa Pilipinas tungkol sa pagbabantay ng activity ng volcanoes? Anong tawag doon? FIVOL. Yun. Yan, minsan nag-ano sila, nagbibigay sila ng notice, active na naman ang ganitong volcano, sa level 1, 2, 3, ganun sila. No? So ano yung mga volcano na active dito sa Philippines?
Ako pa rin
Mayon
po.
po.
Ay, ayun.
Taal po.
Mount Pinatubo
Kimberly.
po. Ay,
Kimberly? Taal volcano. Yes, Taal volcano. Palagi yung Taal volcano na yan. What else? Ano pa? Giancarlo, Adi.
Yung Mayon po, ma'am.
Mayon, volcano. Saan ang Mayon?
Sa Albay po.
Bicol, Albay.
Apo, apo.
What else? Yes, no? Ka-active yung dalawang yan. Ano pa? Ano pang mga volcano na meron tayo sa Pilipinas? Jerome.
Yung Mount Bulusan po, bali naging active
Saan yun?
po siya ilang years ago na rin po. Sa may Sorsogon po, ma'am.
Sorsogon. Yes. Ano pa? Saan pa meron volcanoes? Pilipinas. Mount Pinatubo, mention din ni Jancel, di ba? No?
yes po.
So, yun yung pinaka-ano din noon, no? 1993, 94 yata, na talaga, nung nag-erupt siya, grabe yung destruction na niya, nadulog na doon sa bandang Pampanga, no? Pumuga talaga siya ng lahar. So, na-wash out lahat yung mga ano doon, yung mga tao, mga panati. So, ang daming problema na binigay nito si Lahar, Mount Pinatubo. What else? Ano pang volcano meron tayo sa Pilipinas? Yung iba inactive, no? Pero for some time, natutulog. May bigla na naman siyang magkakaroon ng activity. So, sasabihin natin, inactive to, bakit biglang bumuga ng sulfur, for example. Ano pa? Sa Visayas, may volcano dyan sa Visayas na parang inactive pero minsan nag-aano siya. Umuusok, may sulfur. Yes, Miss Aguila.
Ano po? Canlaon, ma'am.
Yes, Mount Canlaon. Isa din yan, no? And inactive yan. Pero minsan-minsan, bumubuga rin siya ng usok, sulfur, na ang ano niya, ang eruption, hindi naman siya talaga nag-erupt. Kagaya ng dito sa Taal na talagang focus ng evacuation tao. Okay. And it was not mentioned doon sa report, no, na parang nabigyan ko ng assignment na sana magbigay kayo ng mga let's say itong mga community na ito ay located sa ganito coastal areas, ano ang mga disaster na pwedeng mangyari sa kanila. Let's say, people living in the coastal areas, so kung coastal area, saan yun malapit? divine? Pagka ikaw ay nakatira sa coastal areas, bakit?
Sa mga dagat po, ma'am.
Okay, so ano ang disaster na pwedeng mangyari sa'yo?
Tsunami po kadalasan po.
Tsunami, what else?
Mas prone din po sa bagyo po.
Flooding? Flooding? Di naman. Tsunami, ano pa?
Storm surge po.
Yes, storm surge. Yan, tama. Ano pa? Ano pa mga locations na pwedeng magkaroon ng mga disasters? Say, if you're living in a mountainous area, ano naman ang disaster na pwede mo ma-experience? Yes, Colleen?
Landslide po.
Landslide, yeah. What about if you're living near the industrial plant where, let's say, nag-ano sila, no, na mamanufacture sila ng mga chemicals? Anong disaster ang pwedeng mangyari sa mga tao?
Poisons po, ma'am.
Yes, poison, no, chemical exposure, di ba? Yan. Okay. So parang yun yung kulang doon sa ano nyo, sa report ng Group A, yung hinahanap. And any other ano ba, additional information kung saan ka nakatira, anong kung sa iyo, flooding, what, storm surge, tsunami, and so on. Okay. Group B. Ano ang report ng Group B?
Mock drill po, ma'am.
Okay, so please present your report. Sino ang leader niyo, Kimberly?
Si Jansen po. Si
Presenter. Wala si Jansen. Who will be the presenter? Miss Adun? Miss Adun.
Hello po.
Sino mag-present?
Ayun.
Jancel, ikaw ba?
Ay, hindi po.
Sino? Nasaan ang presentation ng B?
Wait lang po.
Madi. Sige.
Hello po, rinig po ba? Ayun.
Rinig naman. Nawala lang ang presentation.
Let's go.
Group B, bilisan niyo.
Ayun po, ma'am. So, hello. Present mo na, Mr. Madi. Pwede i-full screen.
Yung isang window ata yung na-present mo.
Pawala-wala rin po yung ano ko, ma'am.
Ayan.
Ayan. So, good afternoon po, ma'am. This is the Group B. As you can see po, yung assigned topic po sa amin is yung mock drill. Yung members po namin is si Acapulco po, si Miss Adon, si Miss Aguila, Miss Alegre, Mr. Arsayo, Miss Balboa, Miss Ibaristo, Miss Guntang, Mr. Madi, Mrs. Brenyon, tsaka ako po, Mr. Sumalinog. Next slide po. Yung sa aming table of contents po, as you can see, it is divided into 5 categories. We have the mock drill definition, the concepts and principles of mock drills, importance of disaster drills, disaster exercises and types, and lastly, we have our importance of disaster exercises. Next slide po. We would start po with our definition. So what is a mock drill? So it is a scenario or exercise in which participants, different people, individuals, practice how they would react in the event of a disaster or emergency. As we all know, for the sake of safety, mock drills are held in schools, starting from yung sa ating elementary, high school, and up to college. We have hospitals, apartments, industries, and organizations around the world, even in small groups of people in an area. So mock drills are sort of training exercises that is used to assess an organization's readiness and identify problem areas. So in times when things are uncertain and unexpected problems can come up, it's really important po na we have to react quickly during emergencies, whether it be in a natural disaster or man-made disaster. So yung keywords po ng ating mock drill dito is preparedness and yung ating yung action po natin during that time. So next slide po.
So here we have the concepts and principles of mock drills. So by learning this po, learning this, dito po natin ma-incorporate or magagawa yung mga effective mock drills natin. So, ang concept po ng mock drills ay it is a simulation of realistic scenario. So basically, may ginagawa tayong scenario, tapos ayun yung ifa-follow natin, and then yung dapat natin gawin during that scenario. So ayun po yung nangyayari during a mock drill. So during the simulation of realistic scenario, meron muna tayong scenario development, which involves yung pagka-create ng realistic and challenging scenarios na nagsisimulate ng mga potential na emergency situation. And yung components nito nakadepende sa affected area. So for example, nasa mountainside tayo, pwede nating, ang scenario development natin is for landslides. So for execution, ito naman yung pag-execute ng actual na mock drill. So ito yung where yung mga tao, may fina-follow silang emergency procedures and nagre-respond sila sa mga sa scenario na binigay sa kanila. And dito rin, nag-a-activate yung mga so-called tinatawag nating response teams, yung mga communication procedures, yung mga evacuation processes natin, at saka yung other plans na ginagawa natin kapag merong emergency response. Next is yung debriefing. Debriefing is after ng mga drill. So dito, nagpa-provide ng opportunity to for the participants. So, kasama dito yung community, kasama dito yung response teams, kasama dito yung mga nag-o-oversee nung mock drill sa debrief or yung yung share ng feedback kung ano yung nakita nila during the mock drills. And evaluation, dito natin na-establish kung effective ba yung system natin or yung pagre-respond natin or yung mga communications na ginawa natin during the mock drill. So, during the mock drill, dapat alam natin kung ano yung mga objectives natin. Dito pumapasok yung objective settings. So, sa clear objective, each drill should have a specific and measurable objective. So, this objective could include testing specific responses, procedures, evaluating communication protocols, or assessing the efficiency of evacuation plans. So, dito po, kapag may ginagawa kasi tayong mga bagong protocols or procedures, whenever na nakakapag-come up tayo, kapag merong different types of disasters, kinakailangan meron siyang specific objective or meron siyang clear objective kung bakit natin ginagawa yung isang drill na yon. Kapag learning goals naman, ito yung improvement na nakikita natin among the individual or dun sa buong organization, may it be an agency, may it be a community, or may it be an establishment ang gumagawa ng drill. So, dito, nasa-set natin kung ano nga ba yung mga kailangan pa nating i-improve at kailangan pa nating matutunan in the future para kapag dumating isang disaster, kaya nating harapin or pwede tayo maging prepared. Next slide, please.
Are you listening, Group A? Group A?
Yes po.
Yes.
Mag-notes kayo, magpupista kayo dyan.
Next naman po is the regular and frequent drills and debriefing and evaluation. So, sa regular and frequent drills po, nagsasagawa yung, for example po, sa isang company or let's say sabihin na natin na sa hospital, magsasagawa tayo ng whether announced or unannounced drills, mock drills. So, yung announced drills po, kinoconduct to for new rules and parang kung ano po yung bagong susundin natin or policy ng isang institution. And dito rin po, kailangan frequent natin tong gagawin para kapag dumating yung sakuna, lagi tayong handa sa kung ano man yung mga pwedeng mangyari. And dito naman po sa debriefing and evaluation, kailangan masiguro natin na yung bawat responses or yung procedure or yung process ng mismong response na gagawin natin ay naiintindihan ng bawat isa na kabilang dun sa institution para lahat tayo is informed kung ano yung mga gagawin natin kung sakaling may mangyaring sakuna. And also, dito rin po nangyayari yung pagbibigay or pagpapalitan ng suggestions para po sakaling tawag po dito ay suggestions para po sa ikabubuti pa nung isasagawang mga drills or pag sa mismong event or sa scenario na po nangyari, hindi po kung ano-ano yung mga ginagawa ng mga participants. Next slide po. For the communication testing, drills provide opportunity to test and refine communication systems, ensuring that information flows effectively among different level of responders. So dito naman po, hindi na lang sa institution mismo manggagaling and kailangan po kagaya ng mga LGU, informed din sila sa mga iba't ibang agencies kung paano yung mga gagawin kung sakaling may mangyaring mga disaster po. Next slide po.
Ito po, if I'm not mistaken, ito pong evacuation priority principles ay fina-follow po ata to sa India or Japan po. Basically, meron po tayong four different priorities when it comes to mock drills na dapat mock drills na dapat ini-incorporate sa rescuers as well as sa mga civilians. So, ang priorities na to are as follows, yung protection of life. So, sa protection of life, of course, yung primary and most critical objective ng kahit anong emergency situation. So, dito, ang focus natin is getting people out of a harm. So, tinatanggal natin or nire-remove natin sa isang harmful situation or sa harmful environment ang isang tao. Kapag naman preventing spreading of hazard, may pine-prevent tayo or may sinisecure tayo para matigil or mabawasan yung escalation of emergency. So, pwede dito yung kino-contain natin yung mga hazardous chemicals kapag merong mga disaster na involving ang mga pollutants or chemicals. Pwede rin naman dito yung pag-control ng fire kapag merong mga fires. Ayun po yung preventing spread of hazard. So, ayun po yung second na priority. Ang third po is save assets in the affected area. So, dito naman po, after ma-address yung threat, immediately after ma-address yung threat, kailangan po merong efforts na dinadirect towards protecting the valuable assets sa isang affected na area. So, ito po yung pag-i-involve ng pagse-secure ng isang infrastructure or ng isang equipment or resources na kinakailangan natin. And fourth naman po is yung pag-secure ng hazard completely. So, dito po, minimitigate na natin yung long-term effects ng isang hazard or ng isang disaster. So, importante po tong principle na to, not just yung pag-incorporate ng apat na to, but rather yung pag-incorporate ng consecutively. Kumbaga yung execute neto consecutively. Kasi sa lahat naman po ng drills and emergency situation, nangyayari po yung apat na to. However, it's not consecutive. So, kung makikita natin dito sa Pilipinas, for example, hindi po nauuna yung first. Kasi kahit meron po tayong protection of life and preventing spreading of hazards, katulad ng pag-a-announce ng evacuations or yung gagather ng mga tao sa isang lugar para maprotektahan sila sa isang disaster such as flooding, may mga tao nagsisave muna ng mga kanilang mga gamit or nagsisave sila ng assets dahil nga sa paparating na disaster. Or kaya naman iba-iba yung priority when it comes to evacuation. So, basically, ang principle po na ito ay dapat fina-follow yung pagkasunod-sunod. Next is your circumstantial assumption. So, during the mock drills, ano po dapat yung ine-expect natin? Ano po dapat yung mga ina-assume natin na nangyayari or mangyayari during a drill as well as the real emergency situation? So, kapag nangyari na talaga yon at hindi na drill, ano dapat yung difference na makikita mo sa drill at saka sa emergency situation? So, dapat may may mga circumstantial assumptions tayo. So, high level of tensions and anxiety, highly unreliable information requiring critical assessments. So, merong mga time na kailangan yung mga communication system natin effective kasi pwedeng magkaroon ng mix ng unreliable information na could potentially harm yung pagre-respond nila sa isang disaster. Criticality of time for taking decisions, necessity of coordination among technical and administrative personnel. So, dito kasi, ina-highlight nito yung importance ng coordination between groups. So, sa mock drills po kasi, importante na malaman natin kung sino po yung mga involved doon. So, hindi lang po yung mga taong vulnerable sa isang community ang involved sa isang mock drill. Kasama po dyan yung mga Kasama po dyan yung mga responders, kasama po dyan yung mga administrative personnel. So, kung kunyari, ang gumagawa po ng mock drills ay isang school or institution, so kasama po dyan yung mga um, board of directors, yung mga teachers, yung mga guard, so kasama po sila lahat. And also, kung sino po yung lastly yung mga student. So, meron the same system kapag nasa community tayo. So, dapat alam natin kung paano nag-flow ang communication between these personnel during the mock drills as well as the emergency situation. Next po.
Okay, so next naman po is the importance of disaster drills. So before that po, we categorize this into three po. We have the individual level, the community level, and the administrative level. So sa individual level po, yung emphasis nito is nandoon sa actions and preparedness ng mga individual people. So this includes yung personal empowerment and preparedness of each individual, meaning sa disaster drills, nai-empower nito yung bawat individual by providing them with the knowledge and skills na kailangan nila para makapag-respond effectively during emergency situations. And through participating din sa mga disaster drills, yung mga individual, natututo sila or nalalaman nila kung ano yung mga potential risks or yung mga emergency procedures, and pati na rin kung paano gumamit ng mga iba't ibang safety equipment. So, yung knowledge na makukuha nila during disaster drills po, ito yung nakakapag-enhance dun sa ability nila para maprotektahan nila yung sarili nila and pati na rin po yung iba during ng actual na disaster na. And next is yung development ng necessary skills and mental awareness ng bawat individual during emergency. So, sa disaster drills kasi, na-expose din natin yung, pwede natin ma-expose yung bawat individual. Balik po yung slide. Pabalik. So, dito kasi, sa disaster drills kasi, na-expose natin yung mga individuals sa mga simulated emergency scenarios po, which allows them to practice yung mga specific skills nila na required for responding sa mga various disasters tulad ng mga lindol, sunog, bagyo, and sa mga baha. So, yung pagkakaroon ng participation sa mga drills, especially kung regular yan, nakakapag-contribute yun sa development ng muscle memory and reflexes ng bawat individual, which ito yung nakaka-ensure na kaya nilang mag-react quickly and efficiently doon sa mga high-stress scenarios na tulad nga ng mga earthquakes, fires, and floods. And then regarding naman sa mental awareness, so dito kasi parang natitrain din natin yung mga individual na maging stay na kalmado even under pressure, and yung effect or yung benefit na makukuha nila dyan is kung kalmado sila, mas makakagawa sila ng maayos na desisyon and makaka-adapt sila sa mga changing circumstances na cause ng mga disaster. And then hindi pa pala ito. Lastly, yung sa development, sa development of confidence and resilience among individuals. So dito naman, kapag nag-engage siya kasi sa mga disaster drills, parang nakakabuo siya ng confidence sa mga tao as they become familiar doon sa emergency procedure and protocols na pinapakita sa kanila. So kapag may experience sila doon sa mga drills, nakakapag-instill yun ng sense of resilience na which enables the individual na makarecover ng mas mabilis at maayos doon sa shock and disruption na pwedeng cause ng mga disaster. Next naman. Next naman po yung sa community. Yan. Next is yung sa community level. So yung focus nito is yung attention ng attention and collective actions, collaborations, and resilience ng group of people within a specific area or sa community, which for example, yun sa barangay, sa isang city, ganun. So first is yung development of enhanced collaboration and cooperation between different sectors of the community during disaster. So dito kasi, kapag during disaster drills kasi, kailangan mag-facilitate ng mga coordinator or na magkaroon ng coordination and collaboration between various sectors ng community. And kasama dyan yung mga local government agencies tulad ng mga barangay, and then mga emergency services like yung mga NPO, and then also yung residents na din. So sa disaster drills dito sa community level, yung different different residents or entities, pwede silang mag-practice working together in a simulated disaster scenario, which they can foster communication, cooperation, and understanding of these rules and responsibilities. So dito, mai-improve yung collaboration and mai-ensure na merong coordination doon sa bawat nabanggit na different entities tulad nga ng mga barangay and LGU and NPO. The next is yung drills helps identify vulnerabilities within the community in terms of infrastructure, communication, and level of awareness among every community member. So dito, yung mga community level disaster drills kasi, they can provide an opportunity to identify vulnerabilities within the community infrastructure. So isa dyan yung pagkakaroon ng communication system, and yung pagkakaroon ng overall level na awareness ng bawat residents. And also, yung drills kasi dito sa community level, nakakatulong siya para ma-assess yung weaknesses sa bawat emergency response plans ng bawat community. Tulad ng kung okay ba yung evacuation routes, yung mga communication networks, gumagana ba? Yun. Then next is yung drills and training promotes public awareness and preparedness in times of disaster. So sa drills kasi, nag-a-act na rin siya as training exercise para sa mga community and residents nito, which ito yung nakakapag-contribute doon sa pagkakaroon ng public awareness, kasi through this, na-educate na rin yung community members about doon sa mga potential risks and kung ano ba yung kahalagahan ng pagiging prepared during emergency. Next po.
So lastly po, sa administrative level, yung focus po nito is yung importance ng disaster drills when it comes dun sa policy making natin at saka dun sa mga administrative work ng mga leaders po natin sa community. So first po, sinabi dito na it assesses the organization's plan for emergency readiness and yung effectiveness po ng standard operational protocols. So alam naman po natin na yung theory po kasi more often than not, iba po siya sa actual na nangyayari sa mga scenarios. So yung mga disaster drills po, it it allows us to have a glimpse kung ano po ba yung maaaring mangyari during emergencies and kung paano po yung dapat na maging maayos na response. So upon observing disaster drills po, pag paulit-ulit na pinapractice, nakikita po ng mga policy makers natin kung alin po ba yung dapat na ma-improve doon and na-assess po nila kung talagang effective po ba yung mga standard protocols na in place sa bawat area po natin. It also helps strengthen po yung interagency collaboration during emergencies through practice, policy making, and planning. Pagka po kasi may disaster, hindi lang naman po isang sector ng government yung gumagalaw dyan. Tulungan po yan, like let's say may mga lindol, may mga earthquake disaster na ganun. So usually dyan tulong-tulong yung police sa pag-maintain ng public order, yung ating mga Bureau of Fire Protection para sa pag-aayos ng mga debris. Kapag pinapractice natin siya through disaster drills, it allows yung mas maayos na flow nung pagtutulungan between different sectors. And doon nalalaman kung paano sila gagalaw in an optimal manner na makakapag-respond agad sila in terms of disasters. Then, disaster drills also, helps optimize resource allocation strategies during emergencies. Through practicing po kasi disaster drills, nagkakaroon po ng idea yung those at the top level kung alin po ba yung mga resources na need idagdag sa community. Kasi kapag po tayo ay nag-i-implement ng mga protocols, usually ang nagiging problem po is yung budget, manpower, at saka yung resources ng community. Then, next slide po. It also gives opportunities for the administrational level to enhance and revise standard procedures during emergencies for more optimization and helps identify gaps within the existing policy and standard procedures on emergencies. So bago po kasi tayo mag-create ng mga standards at saka protocols, dapat po kasi yan is ginagawang legitimate through law and policy making. So, ang po nun, ang way na nakakatulong po yung disaster drills, through practice po nitong mga protocols na ito, nagkakaroon po ng idea yung government natin and yung mga namamahala sa atin kung alin-aling area pa po ba yung lacking in terms of our disaster response. So, yun lang po.
So dito naman po sa types of disaster exercises and types, meron po tayo una-una, discussion-based exercises. So sabi po dito, this can be used to create new plans, policies, agreements, and procedures, or they can be used to familiarize participants with the plans, policies, and procedures that are in place now. So yan po, based po sa root word niya, discussion po. So nagpo-focus lang po ito sa discussion. Then, yung content po nito is yung seminar, workshop, tabletop exercise, and games. So, yung unang discussion-based exercise po is yung seminar. So, ang seminar daw po is are discussion-based exercises designed to orient participants to new or updated plans, policies, or procedures in a structured training environment. So, yung format po nito is yung formal presentation po or lecture or yung parang ginagawa po natin ngayon kung saan meron po tayong passive listener lang po and nakikinig lang po sila without much interaction po. So, ang goal po nito is to provide an in-depth knowledge to the participant about their lesson po. So, typically po meron pong one topic lang po na itinuturo kapag meron tayong seminar. So, sa participant involvement po, participants are usually passive listeners and only interact during Q&A session. So, ang duration po nito would vary from few hours to a full day. So, isang example po nito is yung ginawa po natin sa nursing leadership na seminar, yung tungkol po sa infection control. So, yan po. So, next po, ito po yung mga picture ng seminars. Ganyan lang po yung ginagawa nila. Nakaupo lang po sila. Then, meron pong isa or dalawang guest speaker po na nagtuturo about dun sa specialized na topic. So, next po is yung workshop. So, yung workshop refers to a participatory or interactive event or training session where individuals come together to develop practical skills, share experience, and engage in hand-on activities related to disaster preparedness. So, the focus of disaster management workshop is often on building the capacity of participants to effectively handle various aspects of disaster situation. So, ang format naman po nito is more po na rather than nakaupo lang po sila at nakikinig, sila po yung nakikipag-interact at sila po yung nagkakaroon sila ng problem-solving skills at hands-on po yung activities na ginagawa po nila doon para po mas matuto po sila. Kasi sabi nga po, mas better po na matutunan yung isang bagay kung gagawin po siya through live experience rather than nakaupo lang po at nakikinig lang po. So, ang goal po nito is develop skills using practical learning and active engagement. So, ang participant involvement po nito is participants are required to engage in activities, discussion, and problem-solving tasks. So, meron po silang group activities, meron po silang pinapagawa ng mga bagay. So, yung example po nito is yung ginawa po natin sa basic life support. So, rather than po nakaupo tayo sa kanila tapos nakikinig lang kung paano po gagawin tapos demo nila, tayo po yung pinapagawa nila para mas matuto po tayo. So, ang duration po nito nag-vary from 1 day up to multiple days po. So, ito po yung example nito. Ito rin po yung nakita ko under ng Philippines ng Red Cross. So, Urban Disaster Management Workshop. Kung gusto niyo po siya tignan, nandito po yung link sa baba. Then, sa Pilipinas naman po, ang pa-provide po ng seminar at workshop po natin mostly is yung NDRRMC, yung National Disaster Risk. Teka, yung copy. Basta yun po. Okay, next po.
So, for the next type of exercise po is the tabletop exercise. So, a tabletop exercise is an activity in which there is a key personnel assigned in emergency management roles and responsibilities and is gathered to discuss in a non-threatening environment and various simulated emergency situation. So, as the name implies, it is played out around the table, parang ganyan sa picture, with participants responding to the leader's description of the scenario and prompts with the suggestions na galing sa emergency plans, and nakadesign din tong tabletop exercise to bring out constructive discussion from the participants. So, the participants are highly encouraged to discuss decisions in depth with emphasis on slow-paced problem solving rather than rapid and real-time decision making. Bale, dito po mas wait lang. Bale, dito po yung mga participants is magkakaroon ng discussion based sa prompt ng leader, tas i-describe yung scenario, pero dito walang real-time action and mas nagpo-focus po sa decision making, communication, and coordination. And the goal of this is to clarify roles and responsibilities and to identify preparedness needs. And the duration of the tabletop exercise depends on the audience and the topic being exercised, but many tabletop exercises can be conducted in a few hours. So, next po. So, sa game, so basically, game is another form of or type of disaster exercise that are interactive, that simulate realistic scenarios of disaster and crisis and challenge the participants to respond effectively and collaboratively. So it often involves 2 or more teams, usually in a competitive environment, using rules, data, and procedures designed to depict an actual or hypothetical situation. It can be used for training, awareness, and assessment, and also evaluation purposes depending on the design of the game. So the goal of this is it will allow individuals or the participants to practice and improve response capabilities, assess readiness, and enhance their awareness and decision-making skills.
So next naman po is yung sa operations-based exercises. And yung operation-based exercises po, yung operations-based exercises po, it greatly differs po from the discussion-based. Kasi dito po, nai-involve na po dito yung talagang pagde-deploy na po ng resources, mga personnel, tsaka dito po sinisimulate na po talaga yung real world scenarios na if ever magkaroon man po ng disaster. So kasama po dito yung drill, yung functional exercise, tsaka po yung full scale exercise. Next slide po.
So, yung first operations-based exercise po is yung drill. Drill, ito po yung mga plan and structured activity designed to systematically test po, develop, or maintain yung skills and proficiency ng emergency response procedures within po sa specific context. So, these exercises po are typically focus po siya sa pag-hone ng operational response capabilities ng mga individual departments or agencies, especially sa environments such as yung educational po at health facilities. And as for its primary goal po ng drill, it is to simulate or simulate and evaluate po yung effectiveness ng emergency response protocols sa mga uncontrolled and controlled environment. So for the goals po ng participant, una po is to provide training on new equipment. Yung in which yung objective po nito is para makapag-provide or providing training on equipment para ma-familiarize ng mga participants po with sa mga operation, functionalities, and maintenance ng mga latest tools or equipment na gagamitin. So, this approach po or this goal po involves hands-on training, workshops, and online modules which mentioned po by Mr. Madi earlier. And with these methods po, na-ensure po na yung mga participants ay makakapag-develop na or magkakaroon ng competency in using the new equipment and makakapag-tulong din po sa pag-promote ng operational efficiency within healthcare settings para maiwasan po yung risk ng errors and makakontribute sa pag-improve ng patient care and safety. Next goal po is to evaluate new procedures, policies, and or equipment. So, dito po para po ma-assess yung effectiveness and feasibility na within the healthcare system. So, the evaluation process po has important benefits since it helps make procedures po better and more suitable sa mga changing needs ng nagagawin o nakakailanganin. And so, it also ensures po that the staff is comfortable with and approves of changes po sa integrated sa system. Next naman po is practice and maintain skills. So, yung objective po nito is para ma-ensure po na consistently ma-uphold po yung mga essential skills na needed sa mga situations na kakaharapin. And yung methods po na ginagawa dito is yung drills po, regular drills, simulations, and refresher courses or ongoing learning. And as for the benefits naman po nito, para ma-maintain po yung high competency levels as well as mas na magiging prepared sila sa mga circumstances and can adapt easily. Lastly po is to prepare for more complex exercise in which to help build a foundation for handling mga intricate and challenging scenarios or real-life scenarios na ma-encounter. As for the characteristics naman po, una po is immediate feedback. So, may timely response na nagpa-provide sa individuals during or after a task or learning experience in which crucial siya for enforcing correct behaviors and makorek yung errors. It also enables participants po to understand yung mga consequences of their actions in real time na kung saan ma-enhance yung effectiveness ng learning process. Next is realistic but isolated environment. Ito po yung pag-set up ng situation na closely resembles sa mga real-world scenarios in which it allows participants po to practice and develop yung skills nila in a context na nagmi-mirror po sa actual work environment. So this environment is isolated po in the sense na controlled and focused lang siya sa specific aspects or skills para makapag-provide ng safe space for the participants na para matuto and maitama nila yung mga mali or errors na nagawa nila. So, next slide po. Next slide po. Next po is functional exercise. So, ito naman po yung planned activity for organizations to see how well they can handle emergencies or to evaluate yung organizational capacities. So, dito, chine-check or tinitignan if the community's emergency plan ay effective ba or hindi. So, during this exercise, merong made-up scenario again with players or yun yung decision makers na fully involved sa simulated major disaster. Controllers meron din controllers na nagmamanage ng scenario and simulators na nag-create ng situation. And lastly, meron din evaluators na nag-a-assess kung tama ba yung nangyayari sa designated coordination location. At yung mga participants po dito ay both from inside and outside organizations like the government, private sectors, and volunteers. And as for the goals po, first is to validate and evaluate capabilities. So dito, it aims to assess and confirm yung existing skills, knowledge, and competencies in a specific area ng participant in which yung objective is to validate their capabilities and para ma-ensure kung align ba sa standards or expectations na gagawin. Next is yung focus sa plans, policies, and procedures. And as for the conduct characteristics po, first is conducted in a realistic, real-time, simulated environment. So dito po, it involves yung pag-carry out na activity or exercise environment na closely resembles real-world conditions. So yung simulation is designed to be authentic as possible, providing participants po with an experience na nag-mirror ng mga challenges and dynamics na they would face sa actual situations. In which yung aim nga is to offer a practical learning experience in a controlled setting, allowing them to apply their skills and decision-making abilities in a life-like scenario. Next naman is yung simulated deployment of resources and personnel. In this context naman po, yung mga participants, they engage sa simulated exercise na kung saan they deploy resources such as equipment or supplies and personnel or yung human resources. In this simulation, napapractice yung mga participants sa pag-respond sa mga challenges by testing and improving paano sila mag-allocate ng resources, paano mag-coordinate ng actions, and paano nila ma-manage yung situations. And ang pinaka-main goal po dito is to see how effectively they can deploy and make the most of the available resources, providing valuable practice for handling real-life emergencies. Lastly po, it includes controller and evaluators. So yung controller po, sila po yung responsible sa pag-manage nga ng simulation, and sila yung nag-i-introduce ng variables or challenges. And ini-ensure na yung scenario dapat ay realistically made. Sa evaluators naman po, sila naman po yung nag-observe or nag-assess ng participants' performance in which po they provide constructive feedback. Next slide po. Next slide.
So, yung last naman po is yung full-scale exercise. So, ito yung pinaka-last sa operation-based na exercises. So, dito sa full-scale exercise, meaning large-scale siya. And it is very challenging kasi it involves, ayun nga, from different agencies, organizations. Tapos, kailangan din dito ng malaking financial funds para magawa to. So, ayun nga, sabi nga, itong type ng drill na to, yung pinaka-massive, expensive, tsaka complex. And it may involve public evacuations. So dito, sinasama na yung functional exercise, tsaka yung field element. Kumbaga, talagang isisimulate niya yung kung ano nangyayari kapag merong disaster. So sa participant goals, una is to demonstrate roles and responsibilities as addressed in the plans and procedures. So dito kailangan bawat participant nung type ng exercise na to, alam nila yung roles nila and responsibilities. Kailangan alam nila kung paano sila mag-decide within their authority lang, tsaka dapat na naiintindihan din nila yung overall structure ng response na gagawin nila. And then next, dito din, need din kasi dito makipag-coordinate sa iba't ibang organizations, government agencies, yung mga NGOs, tsaka yung mga emergency services. Kasi nga, itong full-scale exercise, talagang isisimulate niya yung kung ano totoong nangyayari kapag may disaster. So, kailangan makita dito yung effective communication tsaka collaboration ng iba't ibang organizations. Next naman is participants should respond to the exercise as if it is a real event. So, hindi lang to basta-basta, ay ano lang, exercise lang naman yan eh. So, dapat dito makita na talagang yung approach ng mga magpa-participate sa exercise na to, yung mindset nila, ito yung actual disaster na nangyayari. So, dito sa full-scale exercise, merong simulated scenario, tsaka kailangan din dito mag-mobilize ng maraming resources as if meron talagang emergency. For the conduct characteristics, so yung full-scale exercise, isa siyang high-stress environment para talagang masimulate yung pressure na nararamdaman ng isang tao kapag nandun ka talaga sa isang disaster na yun. Kailangan mararamdaman mo dito yung urgency, yung mafe-feel mo talaga na parang mape-pressure ka, ganun. And it also helps yung mga participant dito na yung sa psychological aspects nila, kung paano sila magde-decide, yung mga decision na gagawin nila, and also enhancing their ability to perform under pressure. Next is rapid problem solving. Kailangan yung mga participants dito ma-assess nila at ma-address yung iba't ibang challenges tsaka mga problema na ma-experience nila during the exercise. Critical thinking, itong exercise, kailangan din niya na mag-engage din sa critical thinking by analyzing iba't ibang mga information, kung ano pa yung mga options na pwedeng gawin. Tsaka kailangan yung mga decision na gagawin nila is nakabase doon sa mga nakukuha nilang data. Siyempre, importante yun kasi kapag mayroong mga unforeseen na circumstances, makakagawa sila kaagad ng solusyon. Conducted in a realistic real-time environment to mirror a real incident. So yung exercise na to kailangan naka-closely replicate niya yung conditions ng totoong disaster. Tsaka yung realism na yun kasi matutulungan na yung mga participant na ma-experience kung ano yung mga challenges na nandun kapag mayroong emergency. And of course, lastly, yung mobilizations of unit, personnel, and equipment. Next slide po. Para naman sa controller expectations, so merong magiging chief controller dito na siya yung nag-oversee nung lahat ng yung sa coordination na nai-involve din sa exercise. Tsaka ang mga responsibility niya dito is kailangan ma-ensure niya na meron pa ring effective communication during the whole exercise, tsaka collaboration among different controllers na nagpa-facilitate para talagang masimulate nila yung realistic na situation. And then, kailangan ma-ensure din nung controller yung timely start tsaka continuation nung mismong simulation. For the advantage ng full-scale exercise, gaya nga ng sabi kanina, nasa-simulate nito yung real-time interaction tsaka communication. And then, dito kino-combine na yung functional exercise tsaka yung drill. So, yung dalawang yun, part din siya ng operation-based exercise. And then, nai-utilize din yung mga hindi masyadong gamitin na resources kasi para alam din nila kung paano yung gamitin. And then, nai-increase din yung public awareness of the emergency management program. For the disadvantage, itong full-scale exercise, kailangan talaga siya ng extensive time commitment to exercise design. So, kailangan ito ng time, effort, bukod doon, dyan din nakalagay, costly siya. expensive kasi syempre yung mga gamit mo dun na equipments, yung facilities, yung personnel para talagang ma-simulate mo yung totoong disaster. And then syempre, mahirap din diyan yung mga smaller na organization tsaka communities. And then, yung pinakahuli naman is high safety risk or liability involved. Since yung full-scale exercise, kailangan dito, di ba kailangan dito realistic nature. So, meron ding mga safety risks tsaka responsibilities. And kailangan, bago to gawin, merong proper na risk assessment tsaka mga safety protocols na nagawa para ma-ensure yung safety ng mga magiging participants. Next slide po. So, ito yung example ng full-scale exercise na ginawa dito sa Philippines. So, ito yung sa CRK Emergency Exercise 2016 sa may Clark Airport. Next slide po.
So, for the next part po is yung importance ng disaster exercises. First po dito is yung understanding your roles and responsibility. Since yung disaster exercises serves as a way for individuals, agency, and organization to determine their own roles and responsibility, kahit mapa discussion-based pa operation-based exercise is done. It allows each member to determine their specific roles and responsibility in emergency situation. So mas na-understand nila kung paano sila na-contribute doon sa larger response framework. Next dito is yung it also develops yung self-confidence and resilience since participation sa mga disaster exercises contributes doon sa self-confidence among individuals since mas napapractice nila and mas nare-refine nila yung emergency response skills nila, mas nakaka-gain sila ng assurance doon sa abilidad nila para mag-handle ng mga challenging situations since yun nga as mentioned earlier, kasama sa mga exercises yung parang role-playing or simulations. So additionally, due to exposure sa mga stress and pressures during nung mga simulation, mas na-help sila or nakakatulong to para mag-build ng resilience. So, which is very vital para ma-maintain yung composure and as well as to make a sound decision during actual emergency. Next is yung stress inoculation since one part of the exercise, especially dun sa mga operation base, is yung may simulation or may binibigay ding mga scenarios, mas na-expose yung mga individuals to a stressful situation, allowing them to adapt and build resistance psychologically and emotionally since during emergency responses naman hindi lang physical ability mo yung kailangan as well mas kailangan mo din tatagan yung physiological and emotional ability mo para mas respond effectively. So, by intentionally yung pag-induce ng stress during exercises, yung mga participants become better equipped to handle yung intensity of a true emergency. Na mas nape-prepare sila mentally and emotionally, thus, nare-reduce nito yung likelihood of panic and mas na-enhance ito yung ability to function effectively. Then, next is, nakaka-determine din ito in four areas of vulnerability. So, disaster exercises can also serve as a diagnostic tool para mas ma-determine kung meron bang weakness or gaps doon sa mga emergency response plan, procedures, and system. So, by simulating yung mga realistic scenarios, yung mga organization can pinpoint kung ano-ano yung mga preparation plans or procedure that needs improvement. Then next po is continuous enhancement. So in each exercises po, yung pinaka-vital part nito is yung evaluation in which analyze dito yung strengths and weaknesses that is observed during the simulation. So mas nakakontribute to
to the ongoing improvement doon sa mga procedures and plans na ginagawa during emergency response. Then next importance po, next page po.
Ayun. So, sa last po na importance ng disaster exercises, meron po tayong test emergency response plan. So, dito, from conducting exercise, it allows the organizations to systematically evaluate their emergency responses, yung mga plans nila in a controlled environment. Tapos, this testing helps identify potential gaps, yung mga strengths and weaknesses, and areas for improvement doon sa mga disaster plans nila. So, dapat ine-ensure doon na practical, effective, and also aligned din siya sa goal ng organization. So, next is yung sa improved decision-making skills, where they create certain scenarios na kailangan ng decision makers to respond promptly and strategically. So, this process enhances their ability to make informed decisions under pressure, and also it fosters adaptability and resilience. And improved decision-making skills are also crucial during emergencies, di ba? And tsaka yung if ever man na kailangan ng quick and effective choices if necessary. And meron din tayong enhanced training and competency. So, ayun nga, regular training through exercises will ensure that emergency responders and personnel maintain a high level of competency. And it also allows them to practice specific skills, mainly yung pag-respond sa disaster situation nila or yun nga, current situation. And also yung pag-familiarize sa mga protocols and stay up to date with the latest procedures and yung mga ginagamit na equipments for response. And this ongoing enhancement of skills is also essential for an efficient and coordinated response during crisis. And sa crisis leadership development naman, meron din silang, it also serves as a platform for leaders to hone their crisis management and leadership skills. So leaders can practice communications and strategic thinking and decision making sa simulated crisis. And it also helps them build confidence and competence. So, yun nga, from here, pwede silang magdevelop ng effective leadership during real emergencies. And lastly, yung community engagement where it involves the community. So basically lahat ng mga nabanggit dun sa taas is pwede silang i-integrate sa community. And it also fosters a sense of shared responsibility and preparedness for those people in that certain community. And it also educates the public about searching procedures, yung mga evacuation routes, importance and preparedness nila when disaster strikes. And ayun nga, engaged communities are more likely to respond proactively during disasters. And ayun, may possibility na pwedeng ma-reduce nun yung overall impact and enhancing the effectiveness of emergency response efforts. Yun lang.
Okay, thank you very much. No? Very informative yung mga reports ninyo, ALB. So, meron lang akong question no, doon sa part ni Jerome, ni Divine, ni Colleen, Jerome. And that was very interesting also yung part, the importance of disaster management, Florence. Importance ng yun? Yung topic niya,
Disaster
last part ni Joshua.
exercise po.
Disaster exercises, no? So in which we're going to identify the gaps, no? And what are the areas that should be improved, no? Ganda yung part na yun. So, tapos kay Jerome, kay Divine, tsaka kay Colleen, no, ang report nila doon. Jerome, I'm just curious, no, with our setting in the Philippines, diba? Sabi niyo meron tayong disaster and risk management organization or offices. at different levels. May provincial, may national, may provincial, and sa mga local government units. Jerome, where are you?
Dito po, ma'am.
Divine. Na kasi doon sa report ni Divine, sinabi niya na maganda dapat individually, meron tayong part no, na i-portray when disaster strikes. And as a community, meron din tayong parte na inaano no na pinoportray, and also the administration, let's say for example sa isang institution, so mga admin personnel dapat meron din silang awareness on what they're going to do during the disaster or during the earthquake, the fire, and so on. So with our setting in the Philippines, is it, I think, yung awareness na binibigay nitong organization para sa individual, sa community, tsaka sa administration, kinakandak ba yan in one session that altogether merong participation ng community tsaka ng mga individual sa isang let's say seminar na related sa disaster and disaster risk management. Meron bang ganon, Jerome? Kasi, for example, ako, gusto kong malaman na ano ang role ng isang administrative personnel that is assigned to have this disaster management sa kanyang institution. For example, sa school, sino ba ang naka-assign dyan sa disaster and risk management? So, ano ang role niya? So, ako, as a student, for example, as a faculty, gusto ko malaman ano yung kanyang, ano ang kanyang papel na ginagampanan. Para maintindihan ko, pag may disaster, let's say, for example, dito, di ba, malimit tayo nakaka-experience ng earthquake dito sa school. So, when that happened, di ba, pinapababa tayo, tapos nilalagay tayo sa safe na ground, and then we were waiting for their instructions. So, ako personally, hindi ko alam kung kailan ba sila mag-a-announce na, free na, pwede nang bumalik, o kaya suspended yung klase kasi ganito, ganyan. Iyan bang awareness na or seminar na binibigay sa kanila ay ano yun? Yan ba ay sa isang session nandun na lahat ang lesson na wherein maintindihan ng isang tao, ng isang community, tsaka ng isang administration ang kanyang roles?
Bale, ano po kasi ma'am, sa Philippines po kasi ang nangyayaring style po, medyo decentralized po yung pag-disseminate ng information sa public. So, ang nangyayari po ma'am, ang focus po karaniwan ng ating government is sa mga public facilities po, gaya ng mga public school. Doon po sila nagko-conduct ng mga drills at saka seminars, particularly sa mga teachers po. Kasi ang nangyayari po ngayon, ma'am, since kulang po sa manpower, they expect na yung mga healthcare professionals, yung mga barangay tanods po natin, and yung mga teachers, sila po yung mag-i-step up during disasters. Particularly yung public school teachers po. Then ano po kasi ma'am, ang available lang po natin sa public, nagkakaroon lang po tayo ng mga nationwide na drills. And more on ano lang po siya, ini-explain lang kung ano po yung gagawin without elaborating kung ano po yung rationale behind that. Bali yung...
So wala kang idea kung talagang meron dapat yan na seminar na
sa ano po kasi,
workshop.
Sa guidelines po kasi ma'am, ang nangyayari, required po kasi talaga na magkaroon ng yearly, actually hindi po yearly, parang biannually po na na drill separate for fire, earthquake, ganun po. Based po dun sa mga nabasa ko ma'am. Hindi ko po sure kung ina-apply talaga natin. Sa mga sa mga schools po, required po na ano yan, may mga dedicated month po sila ma'am eh. For earthquake, separate po for fire, ganun. Tapos ano po yan, yung training po niyan, yung sa response po sa mga teachers binibigay, yung kung ano yung dapat gawin sa students and sa staff po nila inaano. Tapos yung sa resources po, sa barangay po nagkakaroon lang po ng checking. So medyo ano po talaga ma'am, decentralized when it comes sa pag-aano. Ang nakikita ko po ngayon ma'am na pinakamalapit nating planning when it comes sa disaster. Ano po tayo ngayon ma'am, required po tayo sa sa entrance ng mga public spaces o yung mga stores ganun na maglagay po ng mga hotline for response po ganun. And required rin po syempre may mga policy po tayo na yung mga minimum requirement para sa fire safety. Ganun po yung mga first aid kit natin sa mga buildings po. Yun pa lang po yung na-observe ko ma'am na application nitong mga more on students po ang focus ma'am eh.
Kasi sir, parang we just base our actions doon sa instructions nila. So, I am curious kung sana dapat bawat isa alam natin kung ano yung gagawin natin individually at naiintindihan din natin yung ginagawa ng mga tao nasa itaas. Like yung, let's say, sa LGU, no? Kung meron silang isang coordinate related sa management ng disaster. Dito sa school, meron din tayo yan eh. Meron tayong isang body din na binuo para dyan. So, we do not understand that are their roles. So, sometimes, kung pinapababa tayo dun sa ground, we are complaining, bakit ang tagal? At hindi pa nagsasabi kung ano ang gagawin natin. Dito lang ba tayo? Ilang minutes na tayo nakastandby dito. So, we do not understand what we should do. So, we do not understand kasi kung ano ba ang dapat na gawin ng mga tao na nasa administration or kung sila talaga ang tasked to give instructions. So, may mga lapses din tayo doon sa communication. Hindi nadi-disseminate sa mga tao ano ba dapat gawin at naiintindihan ng tao ano ba ang dapat gawin nasa ilas, paano natin sila susundin at paano natin naiintindihan kung ano yung dapat instructions na ine-expect natin sa kanila. So, sometimes we can observe also sa national, kung may mga calamities na nangyayari, merong miscommunication, parang nagkakaroon ng turuan. Na-observe nyo yun, Jerome?
Yes po.
No? Nagkakaroon ng turuan. Sino ba dapat bibigay na instruction? Sino ba dapat ang gumawa nito? So, kasi siguro hindi masyado na inculcate kung proper communication. Di ba sabi nga ni Colleen, dapat ito ay dapat ay sinusunod yung plano. No, and there should be coordination, synchronous, systematic yung kilos, yung actions, tsaka based sa plan. So, but as I can observe naman, no, through the years, nag-i-improve na rin naman yung sistema. Kasi noong araw, madami talagang, dahil wala tayong risk management or disaster and risk management na plano, madami talaga namamatay. No? So, nakikita naman natin yung changes na parang nami-mitigate na yung mga casualties. Pero kung natural na ang dumadating na calamities o disaster, meron tayong plano pero minsan hindi rin natin nakokontrol kung anong extent noon, hindi natin napipredict. So, yun lang yung concern ko doon kasi parang for me, there's a gap no, with regards to the dissemination of information or raising awareness about the roles and functions of an individual, community, and the administration of the organization that are assigned to reduce the risk of disasters in our country. So that was a very informative report. Thank you. I hope na everybody listened to the report of both A and B. So thank you. Meron pang question? May question ng A sa B? Arabella Balboa, may question ka ba? So I think that would be all, no? Thank you. Group A and B, please upload your presentation dito sa G Classroom. Ha?
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you po.
So, I don't know if we're going to have a face-to-face next week kung meron bang return demonstration, no? Kasi meron dyan sa ating clinical focus na meron siyang return demonstrations related dyan sa concepts and principles of disaster response. Okay, tatanong ko si Ma'am Reyes. Sige, thank you. See you tomorrow ba?
Thank you po, ma'am.
Tomorrow ba tayo?
Opo, ma'am.
Yes. Ang officers, di ba kasama sa pagpunta sa silang, sa area? Hulin?
Yes po.
Yes po. Saan kayo? Saan kayo dediretso? Dito sa main? Sa main tayo, meron tayong transport service. Hulin?
Sabi po sa amin, ma'am, is sa ano po?
Sa new?
Opo, sa North
new?
daw.
Pipick upin. O sige, pipick upin.
Ma'am, what time po, ma'am?
Before 8, nandun na kayo sa new. Ha? Or 8 a.m. Parang 9 pa kasing alis yata namin dito eh. 9, tapos pupunta kami doon sa inyo, sa new. O, magbibigay pa kami na instructions. So, siguro isend ko later yung yung survey form doon sa community diagnosis, and then you're going to refine the information there, or the data that should be needed in the collection of data doon sa area para sa community diagnosis. Hindi naman lahat kasi noon ginawa natin kailangan nyo pang i-collect sa interview, no? So we will delete some of the questions there, no, para ma-reduce na yung data na kakolektahin para sa diagnosis. Kasi parang sa COPAR kasi parang for me, ang community diagnosis, parang small portion ng community diagnosis ay importante siya doon sa activities na gagawin sa COPAR. Sige. Thank you.
Ma'am,
Thank you po.
question lang po.
Sige, mamaya isend ko na lang. Sana hindi ko makalimutan. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Be back. Anong susuot niyo bukas? Anong sinabi ni Ma'am doon sa new building?
4-3 po kasi yung nakausap ni ma'am. Ang sabi po ata is type A. Type A po ang...
Type A.
Opo.
Yun yung school uniform ng type A, no?
Yes po.
O sige. Di wala pang OB bag. Mag-aayos pa tayo ng survey form, yung mga maiiwan. Tapos yung officers kasama namin sa punta sa silang. Ha? Sige. Bye. Yes, Madi. Madi?
Ma'am, officers lang po ba yung pupunta po? Hindi po kasama yung mga committee leaders po.
Hindi ko masyado na kung kasama din yung committee leaders. Basta prepare lang kayo. Mamaya mag-a-announce naman din. Tatanungin ko siya. Mag-a-announce si GC. Ha? Parang malaki na rin yung sasakyan. Sige, bye-bye. Sige na,
Po,
wala na
ma'am.
akong tanong.
Sige po.
Sige,
Thank
bye-bye.
you.
Thank you po.
Birthday ni Ma'am Jo, batiin niyo, Ma'am Flores.